Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Gennady Golovkin trainer Abel Sanchez said the Nevada State Athletic Commission showed favoritism towards Canelo while wrapping his hands. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Also, big shout out to Yahoo Sports, Kevin Ioli, hard at work, conducted an interview with Abel Sanchez, obviously talking about his prized pupil in the stable, Gennady Golovkin's upcoming rematch, where again he risked all his belts to fight Canelo Alvarez. Now, there's been some things in the news with Canelo. It was revealed he failed 2 drug tests regarding a clenbuterol detection in those drug tests. So Yahoo Sports, when they're talking to Abel Sanchez, according to him, they said one of the inspectors with the Nevada State Athletic Commission threatened to remove him from Canelo's room, his dressing room, because it's customary that the trainer or someone from the opposing team comes over and watches your hands being wrapped, make sure it's signed off and everything's on the up and up. And according to him, Abel's saying that he received unjust or unfair treatment, and they showed Canelo favoritism in the dressing room. This is his quote from Yahoo Sports, the interview. They put the gauze on his hand, and he put 1 layer of gauze on the hand, and then they put the tape on top of the gauze. Immediately, I caught that, and I said, whoa, 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 that's illegal. He can't do that. And the inspector looked at me and said, yes, he can do that. It's called stacking, and it's illegal. You can't do that. It's creating a cast. That's what Abel was saying. So they're getting some argument over if you can do that. It's like kind of Kovalev got warned at one point because he was like packing his gloves, like punching walls or concrete hard objects. There's certain things you can and can't do. So I guess they had some type of quarrel. And Abel says, from what he recalls, we kept going back and forth to the point where he threatened to throw me out of the room. But they put a layer of gauze on, and then 2 or 3 layers of tape on top of that, and then gauze and tape again. That's illegal. And that's the direct quote from Abel Sanchez, which is, I understand why there'd be a concern. You're not supposed to have it too thick, right? And that'll also potentially protect that fighter's hand better. Like, I mean, any type of additional layers of anything, right? So meaning they can throw with full force or throw a hard shot, and it'll kind of protect or pad their knuckles a little bit better. Abel Sanchez also talked about Canelo's clenbuterol, the failed test, which Canelo claims it was from contaminated meat that he ingested in Mexico. Abel said, my biggest concern is that it doesn't get brushed under the rug, and that it's investigated, and that the experts, of which I'm not one, look into it as thoroughly as they would if it were Golovkin who tested positive. It just seems there are certain commissions in this game that are very lenient towards certain fighters, Texas being one of them, Nevada being the other. Certain fighters get relaxed rules, I guess you could say, and everyone else has to follow certain rules. This time, this is a big enough event that the commission needs to seriously investigate all that has happened in the past. I know he's never tested positive before this, but this clenbuterol stuff, it's not something you start using because of a whim. People who are cheaters, if he is, and I'm not saying it's not the beef, because it could be the meat, but let's say this investigation goes deep, because you don't just start all of a sudden using that, right? Link in the description. Again, shout out to Yahoo Sports. I want to give some brief thoughts as far as the retelling of what happened in the dressing room. As you know on my channel, I can't really speak on a situation I was not there for. Like, we're only hearing one account. You know, they said there's 2 sides to every story, 3 sides in truth, you know what I mean? So this is Abel's account, so I just have to go off of his word. I haven't heard of this story before until his retelling of it. So it's possible. It's definitely possible. And if they did do that, then that does seem illegal, like to bulk up the wraps, you know what I mean, and add tape and stuff to make it thicker, and then to threaten to kick the only representation from the other side out of the room. I don't understand how you can do that either. I thought the whole purpose of a member from the other team being in the locker room watching this process is so they can make sure they're not being cheated, you know what I mean? The Antonio Margarito, plaster of Paris, loaded gloves, putting, you know what I mean, rocks or some shit in their gloves, packing that under the wraps. So I don't know how you can threaten to kick someone else out who's complaining, and especially if they're complaining for something that goes against the rules, but you're going to kick them out and then it's just going to be Chepo and Eddie Reynoso and Team Canelo in there as he's getting his hands wrapped. So that doesn't really make sense to me if this story is exactly as Abel mentions. As far as the clenbuterol, I said it myself. No one really knows. I mean, I feel Abel Sanchez, he's the guy that has to fight this guy. So you want the fight to be on an even playing field, on a fair grounds. But I don't know what they can do. Like, I mean, what can you do to investigate this? And this is such a big fight that I don't see it being canceled. And Golovkin did a little quaint interviewing talking about this. He says it's terrible, it's bad for the sport and stuff, but I don't think he's trying to not take the fight, not get the paycheck and have to fight Charlo or somebody, or Danny Jacobs in a rematch. So, I mean, realistically, it's unfortunate for Team Golovkin because they are not the ones that failed a drug test. But again, I don't really know what deep investigation they can do to reveal what really went on. Canelo can prove that he was in Mexico because I seen a picture of him in Mexico a few weeks or maybe a month ago, and he was with Bill Clinton, the former president of the United States. There was like some kind of soccer game or something he was out there for. So, I mean, he can say, oh, hey, he was in my system from when I ate out there. So he could prove he was in Mexico, I'm sure, at some time frame. But how do you know what he ate? You know what I mean? People could show receipts, but unless he's showing the receipt that I mean, even a receipt, that doesn't prove who ate what. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to the club with friends, and then there's like 18 of us after we leave the club on a Denny's receipt. You know what I'm saying? And we all just split the bill. Just people hand the other person their cash. So, I mean, how would you decipher who ate the moons over my hammy at Denny's? You know what I'm saying? Or the lumberjack slam or whatever, the all-American slam. How would you know? Just because it's on a receipt. So I really don't know what they can do to rectify this situation, to do this deep investigation. Some foreign substances like arsenic, it shows up in your hair, and then they can kind of estimate how long it's been in your system. But to my knowledge, I've never heard of any of this type of testing for clenbuterol, where they will be able to test when you ingested it or give like an exact time frame of when you took it, or when the last time you took it is, or when the last time it was in your body. So let me know what you guys think of Abel Sanchez's story. Like I said, that is fucked up if they were doing some dirty shit. And you know what I mean, ultimately stories like this are gonna hurt Canelo's brand, just because the people already think there's favoritism there, right? Open scoring in Texas versus Austin Trout. There's been controversial scorecards, like when CJ Ross said Canelo Mayweather was a draw. The fight with Erislandy Lara clearly had a bullshit scorecard from Levi Martinez, 117-111. The Golovkin Canelo fight clearly had a bullshit scorecard, 118-110. So, I mean, this is the people who already didn't like Canelo. These are the types of articles and interviews and statements that are going to just add to that, because they already feel he's been gifted and kind of spoon-fed from Golden Boy. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.